something big just happened in the world of Floyd Rose. For the first time ever, a certain off-limits tremolo is now up for grabs, and trust me, this changes everything. But is this actually a game changer for guitarists or just another marketing ploy? And more importantly, should you even care? On today's episode, we're getting into all of that and more, so make sure you stick around. This is the Axe Guitar Show. Let's get into it. All right, welcome back to the Axe Guitar Show, your one-stop shop for tremolo tips and tricks, and your go-to spot for all things guitar, gear, and the occasional industry shakeup. I hope you all are doing well out there shredding, keeping up with all the new stuff in the tremolo world. Floyd Rose seems to be making some big moves lately, and we just really can't stop talking about him. Today we have a topic that's pretty interesting. It's kind of breaks, decades-long practice of what Floyd Rose has been doing for a while, and it kind of changes up the landscape as to what you can get for how much in terms of certain models of tremolos. So grab your drink. As always, I got coffee. I've got a huge coffee cup that says, "Enjoy the little things," with little chicks and a chicken on it. Such a profound statement that could just mean so much. But anyways, today we've got some juicy news that has the guitar community kind of buzzing. Floyd Rose has just announced that their 1000 series tremolos are now available for direct sale to the consumer. So yeah, you can buy these kind of aftermarket now. You could never really do that aside from the burnt chrome version, and that was like give and take. Sometimes it was available, sometimes it wasn't. So you might be thinking, wait, what? The 1000 series, previously exclusive to guitar manufacturers, is now up for grabs for us regular people? Well, what does this actually mean for you, the discerning guitarist? Is this a game changer or just another marketing move? But before we get into the juicy details of all the fun stuff happening around the tremolo world, a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Aura. Because while you're out there trying to chase the perfect tone, there's someone out there chasing your identity. Big name banks like Bank of America, Citi, Chase, they've all been breached. And you know what's wild? They usually take on average 277 days to tell you. That's 9 months. You could literally grow a human in that time. Or in this case, a brand new fraudulent line of credit in your name. We protect our guitars with cases, humidifiers, and more bubble wrap than a vintage Telly deserves. But our personal info, most of us are just rolling with it, hoping for the best. That's where Aura steps in. It's an all-in-one digital safety net. It scans the dark web for your personal info like your email, social security number, phone number, and alerts you fast if it's out there. They even include up to $5 million of identity theft insurance, which sounds like a lot, until you realize how many boutique guitar pedals you can accidentally finance with a stolen credit card. So head to aura.com/theaxeguitar to get a 14-day free trial. That's enough time for Aura to do a deep scan and show you if your data is already floating around the internet like a lost pick under the couch. Credit monitoring after the fact is like putting strap locks on after your Les Paul eats stage concrete. Protect your tone and your identity. Go check out Aura. All right, so here's the scoop. Historically, these units, the Floyd Rose 1000 series, were reserved exclusively for OEMs. Those are the guitar manufacturers who install them directly onto their instruments. Most notable, you'd see these on, Jacksons. You'd see them on a few Schecters in the terms of like a kind of hot rodded looking version. And then you'd also see them on, the Harley Benton Fusions on like their Fusion line, their Fusion Tellys. And so it was a great mechanism to put a rather quality tremolo on a guitar that you'd buy stock. And then so these trims were sold to guitar manufacturers to put on their stock guitars. And that's usually how you would obtain a 1000 series. You wouldn't really just go to the store and buy one because they were pretty limited to OEM and those manufacturers. But now for the first time ever, they're opening up sales to individual consumers like you and me, which I think there's good and bad about that. I want to know your thoughts. What do you think? But getting down to the nitty gritty, why is this even a big deal? I mean, Floyd Rose made this move, put a press release out. So why didn't they just, why haven't they done this many years ago? Well, the 1000 series, in the most simplistic explanation I can give you, is essentially a more affordable version of the original Floyd Rose, maintaining the same design and materials, but manufactured in Korea to exacting standards. So overall, this move democratizes access to a high-quality tremolo system that was previously out of reach for many players. I've done many videos about the 1000 series and its difference between the special and the original. I'll put cards up here and links in the description. But really, the 1000 series keeps the main design of an original Floyd Rose tremolo. It's based off the same dimensions, size. You could technically switch it out with an original Floyd. Just make sure you use different studs. And so that's the big draw to the 1000 series. You know, original Floyd Rose is extremely expensive, and so you have one that's made with the same materials, just in a different location. Let's knock down the price. All right, and to just break it down even further, for some of you that are new, or you're a prospective customer of a Floyd Rose 1000 series, you saw it maybe on the Floyd Rose website that they're offering it as something to buy, and you're like, I don't know if I want the 1000 series. It seems cheaper than the original Floyd Rose. What's the difference? Let's just go over that real briefly. The Floyd Rose 1000 series is designed to offer the same performance and reliability of the original Floyd Rose, but at a more accessible price point. The difference lies in the manufacturing location. While the original is made in Germany and now the United States, the 1000 series is produced in Korea and sometimes in China. This is the perfect example of what offshore manufacturing can do to the price point of certain products. There are some arguments that, if the 1000 series and the special are made outside of Germany and the USA, is the quality different? Is the QC different? I think that's up to you to decide. I've heard so many people that have had great specials in 1000 series. I think it is the luck of the draw with some of those. Whereas with the original, you're probably getting the best manufacturing process and the best QC. But I can't commit to that information because I don't know if it's true. Now, some very important key features if you're a prospective buyer of the 1000 series. In regards to the design and the materials, they're reported to be identical to the original Floyd Rose, ensuring kind of that consistent performance. And these materials are a hardened steel base plate, hardened steel saddles, a nickel-plated brass sustain block, and then also hardened steel screws and saddle retaining bolts and things like that. The materials of the Floyd Rose 1000 series is what really makes it special because you're getting those same materials that you get from the original Floyd Rose on a cheaper 1000 series that's just made offshore, right? And, when it comes to materials and tremolos, that's like the hot button point. Like, do you have hardened steel knife edges? Are your saddles made of hardened steel? Are they cast? Are they CNC produced, right? Sometimes that does make or break whether someone buys a trim or not because, we want these trims to last forever. We're not trying to switch out trims every so often like we are our strings. We want it to sit there forever, operate well, and, little maintenance. Another key feature is the manufacturing standards of the 1000 series. Like we said, these are made in Korea to exacting specifications, which really offer that balance, in theory, between quality and cost effectiveness. So Floyd Rose has told us before that it's the same specifications, they make it the same way in Korea. And then apparently it's assumed that it's QC'd the same. Now, where we are a little bit fuzzy is that with the original, they have shifted to a CNC production design where they CNC the saddles. You can see that the saddle well is a little bit more rounded in the originals. And that went from the actual casting. They used to cast the saddle blocks to where they'd have a nice square where the saddle well is, and then the block would fit in there and would fit, with right angles. I don't know if the 1000 series is going to go to a CNC type design. Are they still going to cast the saddles, or are they going to move all the production in Korea and manufacturing to a CNC-based kind of production? That's up in the air. The last key feature of the 1000 series is its compatibility. It does, because it's the same dimensions and overall design, fit the same routing and mounting configurations as the original. So this makes it a straightforward upgrade or replacement. It really does. And then you don't have to worry about the routing of your guitar because some tremolos are made different. The base plate is a little bit wider, a little bit smaller. If you have, an original trem in there or something that mimics the actual dimensions of an original, it'll fit right in. And I mean, that's the same for if you have a 1000 series and you want to upgrade to an original. You can put it in that same guitar. All right, now let's address the elephant in the room. And this is something we talked about earlier just a little bit, but it does spark a lot of controversy. Does the Korean-made 1000 series stack up against its German-made counterpart? Some purists argue that nothing beats the German and now USA craftsmanship of the original Floyd Rose. I mean, it has been the gold standard for so long. It was the first to basically do it. It was adopted by EVH, used on his Kramer guitars. This does become a hot button topic because they're the granddaddies. They were like the gold standard for so long. However, many users have reported positive experiences with the 1000 series, noting that the design and reliability are nearly identical, with the main difference being the manufacturing location, which we talked about. On forums like Reddit, many players have mentioned that the 1000 series does offer that high quality feel with design and reliability, nearly identical to the original. While on the other hand, some users have reported and pointed out minor issues, such as the need to lubricate the fine tuners, maybe upgrade the springs, but overall the consensus is that the 1000 series does kind of perform at the level and it performs a job effectively in comparison to the original Floyd Rose. I've had a couple 1000 series in my guitar career, and I had one that had bad fine tuners to where the tuners became stripped. I never had that on an original Floyd Rose, so take that into consideration. Do I think it was a problem that was native to the 1000 series? I don't think so. I think it was a manufacturing issue because everything else on it was great. It just had a stripped fine tuning screw. So take that for what it's worth. And that really leads us to our take. The country of origin can influence perceptions of quality, I feel. The consistent feedback about the 1000 series really holds its own in real-world applications. I think it's essential to focus on performance rather than perceived notions about where it's made. But, with that, that sounds all great and, apolitical, but, are there differences? Is the fact of the matter that there are QC differences in these different locations where they're made? Time will tell. So what does the Floyd Rose 1000 series being made available on the Floyd Rose website, direct to consumer, aftermarket, what does this actually mean for you? So some pros, and this is really like the bottom line up front: affordability. You're getting an access to high quality tremolo systems that are more budget friendly of a price. If you go on the Floyd Rose website, these specials are selling for around $150, $152 for the chrome version, a little more expensive for some of the other finishes. Whereas the original, the chrome is about $255. So you're saving at least around $100 there for technically the same, in terms of materials, the same tremolo. So that's actually, in terms of affordability, really nice. Another pro of the 1000 series being offered direct to consumer is availability. You're no longer beholden or limited to getting these on as an OEM product from a guitar company. You don't have to buy a Jackson X series to get the 1000 series. You don't have to buy a Harley Benton Fusion to get it. They'll probably still be offered on all of these guitars, but if you're just trying to get a guitar with a trem, you can always upgrade the one that you have if you have a licensed trem that doesn't work very well, and or you could just buy this after the fact. You could even buy a guitar that you love that has a cheap special on it, and then buy this and upgrade it, which would probably save you a couple bucks if you know how to do that. But the thing is, this just makes it way more versatile and allows the buyer to have some flexibility now. And lastly, another pro about this being offered direct to the consumer is the performance. I mean, when you buy a 1000 series, it offers the reliability and the design fidelity of the original Floyd Rose, making it a viable option for both amateurs and professionals. I mean, if you're used to an original Floyd Rose, you know that the 1000 series really does offer performance about that level. And this is really good news for if you've been a special user for so long and your special, the longevity of a special is not usually that long. It does have some issues because it uses zinc in places that should probably have hardened steel. But if you want to upgrade to something that's usually a direct swap, you can go from a special to a 1000 series and boom, your guitar performance just skyrocketed. All right, and lastly, one small little pro is that, guitars equipped with 1000 series do technically probably have some higher resale value, and that's really only important if you're in that market of buying, selling, trading gear. And, this is because it carries more weight than like a special. And this is something I really pay attention to when I buy used guitars that have tremolos. You get a lot of sellers or companies that say, hey, this guitar has a real Floyd Rose. And so that makes you think, oh, it must have an original, when it's really a special. Because, are they telling you a lie? No. When a guitar is a special, it does have a real Floyd Rose. It's just not the one you probably want. And Floyd Rose specials are pretty cheap. They don't last very long. And so if I'm going to buy that, that's going to be a negotiating point. Listen, guy, this has a Floyd Rose special. It's not a 1000 series or an original. you're gonna have to come down in the price, because if you've been using this for X amount of years, this Floyd Rose Special has X amount of miles. We're gonna have to negotiate here. So bringing that back, a guitar with a 1000 series probably is going to have more resale value, because over the years, it won't take as much abuse because it will last longer. All right, now guys, so landing the plane here. The decision by Floyd Rose to make the 1000 series available for direct sale is a significant move that opens up new possibilities for guitarists and shredders out there seeking a quality tremolo without breaking the bank of like the original Floyd Rose. And original Floyd Rose come in a lot of different variations. They have the 1984 version, they have the hot rodded version, which all vary in price, but an original Floyd Rose is a little expensive. And so while debates about manufacturing origins will continue, the performance and reliability of a 1000 series really speaks for itself, and I think this is an opportunity for guitarists to get a quality tremolo at a rather reasonable price, because this trem has been used as OEM forever. Even like signature guitars, like X series signature guitars, like the Brandon Ellis signature has a 1000 series on it. And I mean, that guy is probably the tremolo god, and I don't think he would stand for a bad quality product put on his signature guitar. I think this does meet, and I think the 1000 series meets performance standards for a lot of professional guitarists. So whether you're considering an upgrade or building a custom guitar, the 1000 series offers a compelling option that really balances quality and affordability. But I really want to know what you all think. Drop us a comment below about what you think about the 1000 series being offered direct to consumer. Is it a good move for Floyd Rose? Will you get one? Do you think this is an opportunity for guitarists? Let us know. And lastly, guys, if you like the content, go ahead and hit subscribe below so you don't miss out on any tremolo tips and tricks and news in the future. All right, guys, later.